Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, back again. And today I have the Mavic Air 2. So I'm going to show you a little close-up of it. If you've used the Mavic 2 Pro or the Mavic 2 Zoom, you probably feel right at home with this. It's about, similar design. It is smaller, and it's very, very easy to get accustomed to if you've already used the previous drones, or even if you haven't, just because they're so user-friendly. So I pop the front two legs out and then the back two, and you can check out my other videos. I did a video where I showed how to attach the propellers, and that was a little bit confusing. There's a little colored piece on some of these and then not on the others, but I explained that within another video, as well as how to properly remove the camera guard. There's a little thumb groove in there, so you just kind of stick your thumb in there and gently pull out. So there you go with that. What we're going to do next, and obviously this is the first field test with the Mavic Air 2. I haven't flown it yet. All that I've done, I've taken it out of the box, I've charged the controller, I've charged the drone, and I've updated the firmware. And I've set the settings within the app. I'm going to film this in 4K 30 HDR. That's right, 4K 30, because I think that'll be a good comparison. And I'm going to do some other videos where I do 4K 60, but this one is 4K 30 HDR. And I've also formatted the micro SD card. Don't forget to put that in there. Even though it does have internal memory, it's probably not enough. So without further ado, and we'll talk about some of this stuff later. This controller is super cool. But in the spirit of the first field test, let me go ahead and attach my phone to the controller. And we're just going to do this. You're experiencing this with me, just like like I am. I mean, this is my first time flying this drone, so I want to keep the expectations very very honest as usual. I'm just making sure I'm in the camera's field of view. You can see my landing pad back there. There's not any wind today, so I didn't even attach it to the ground. So okay, I'm going to exit out of this app that I was in. And it is worth mentioning also that you've got to use DJI Fly app for this, because if you try to use some of the other DJI apps, it's not going to detect the Mavic Air 2. It uses DJI Fly app. So let's see. Let's pop this in here. This new controller design is super nice. Obviously, with there being some buttons on this side of the phone, it's got a groove there. I don't know if you can see the groove, but it's got a groove so the buttons shouldn't become depressed. So now I'm getting into the Fly app. Before I do, I'm going to plug in the lightning style connector since I'm using iPhone. Obviously, if you're using a different type of device, there's two other types of cables that came with my Mavic Air. I've already screwed the sticks in. They're stored in the bottom. Went ahead and screwed them in. I'm going to power on the remote. Something you may not have noticed is that there's no antennas to fumble with. And that's because this doohickey here is on the back. So it's super cool. Now I've powered on the controller. Let's power on the Mavic Air 2. And we're going to take it over to the landing pad. So now that I've powered on, or that the Mavic Air 2 is powering on, I'm going to go into the DJI Fly app. And again, that's super important that you're using DJI Fly, because if you try to use the other app, it's probably not going to work. So yeah, we're rolling. It is kind of cloudy out here, so this will be a good less intense sunlight type filming situation, which typically cameras look best, when there's not super strong sunlight. So this ought to be cool. It says takeoff permitted. That's good to know. And obviously I know where I am. I'm in a safe and responsible location. Let's see what we got here. So I've got, again, my settings just to recap. I'm using 4K 30 HDR. If you want to talk however you want to say the H or the H, doesn't matter. So I'm using 4K 30 HDR, 100% battery, in both the controller and the drone. I'm going to click record. You know, optionally I could push the button, but I'm going to click the record button within the app. So now I'm rolling at 4K 30 HDR. So first time flying the Mavic Air 2. Let's see what it does. Check propeller installation. Check whether the propellers are attached to correct motors. Okay, now that's good that it said that, because somebody might not have realized. Check out my how to attach DJI Mavic Air 2 propellers video, because it could be a little bit confusing for the first timer. So now we're going to start our engines. Boom, you know, just pulling the sticks back like that. If you've flown another drone, oh, whoa. Something's not right, man. Yeah, something's not right. Let me stop. The propellers are attached as, they're attached, the black on black and the silver on silver. Could it be that it has to go the opposite way? No, that's correct. That was bizarre, man. That was bizarre. Because I didn't change any of the propellers. And you can check out my propeller attachment video because it's color coded. But man, that didn't make sense. It was like the rear end of the sucker just kind of wanted to dip down. But yeah, it's flying fine here, man. Let's bring it close. Before we start out with a slow and cinematic video, let's bring it close here so you can see if there's fluctuation during the hover. I'm going to step behind the camera here so we can get a close up, see how smooth this thing. So with my hands off the stick, obviously with my hands off of the stick, you can see how smoothly that's hovering. Super duper nice. Let's see. I'm going to gimbal wheel down. Awesome. Got a very slow, and you can adjust the gimbal wheel speed, or like if I push it faster, it'll see, I've just kind of got it set to this because I kind of like the cinematic type look. So there it is right there, 100% up. Let's take it out a little bit at a safe and responsible altitude. Let's go up a little bit. Let's see how this HDR, this 4K 30 high dynamic range looks. I mean, if you've flown other drones, other DJI drones, you're going to feel right at home with this. Obviously keeping it at a safe and responsible altitude. We're at approximately 200 and almost 300 feet AGL, above ground level. I don't need to go any higher than that. I'm at 353 feet AGL, that's plenty. Let's kind of cruise around here, do a little bit of panning here. Actually, to pan, I'm going to pan the camera so the drone's not moving. I'm just panning to the left to see what kind of performance we're getting here. Again, it is cloudy. There's basically no sunlight because of the clouds. There's some water back there. Let's see how that water looks. Looks like in my camera there I can see something. Yeah, there's a boat in the water. Huh. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll check that water out, man. See what we got on that. Yeah, I mean, looking at this first person view, FPV in the app, man, this thing is slick. Obviously flying line of sight to be safe and responsible while maintaining visual with the drone. I can see all of this in the screen. I don't know if it's just me, but this camera or this FPV view looks clearer. And I'm not using a fancy phone, man. I'm just using the iPhone XR. But I mean, this in-app view is incredible. I mean, I can't wait to see what the video that I export is going to look like. You know, the 4K 30 and HDR. And again, this is just my first field test. So I mean, you know, I'm not going to do everything in this first video. There's going to be a ton of videos. This is just first time in the field. You know, want to give you my honest feedback. Nothing edited. Again, that thing before I took off the first time with the rear end of it, and you could see it on the camera. That was weird. And I don't know. I mean, it's flying fine. It's perfectly smooth. Man, yeah, this is incredible. Okay, I did within the app, I did see a propeller in the frame. So that's interesting. I know that was something with Phantoms, that you could often get a propeller in the frame. And that was kind of weird. I don't think I've ever seen a propeller in the frame of a Mavic or a you know, Mavic Air or Mavic 2. And of course, obviously right now I'm gimbal wheeling down to get that really cool kind of fallen type effect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to descend. Actually, I'm just going to rotate a little bit. Look at that on the ground, how that looks. It's kind of cool, man. And now what I'm going to do is descend while slowly bringing the camera up, tilting the camera up. Check this out. I always thought that was a cool effect. I'm going to tilt it all the way as far as it'll go. Whee! 0 degrees. So it doesn't seem, and maybe that's an in-app setting, but it doesn't seem to have the ability to face the camera upwards, which that's fine. I mean, for my type of videos, I don't really do that much. Let's get kind of close here. The handling of this thing, as one might expect, is exceptional. Let's see, let's get some details here. We're going to creep up. I stopped. And we're going to go all through the intelligent flight modes. Again, this is just my first day in the field. So, you know, we're not... we're doing an honest first field test here to see what this will do. It's worth mentioning battery life is at 80% remaining on the drone. My car is clean except for the wheels. I always thought that cars and shiny objects look cool in a video. So that's kind of low to the ground, 6.2 feet. Let's keep it low and let's go towards me here. Whee! That thing's fast. And speaking of fast, you know, why not? You know, I'm not out here to go racing. But if I was, I might kick into sport. Well, should we even go into sport mode in the first test? Because let's keep it on normal mode for this test because I want to see how the battery does in normal mode. Whee! %76% battery remaining. We're going to fly in reverse. I'm going to do some somewhat abrupt maneuvers rather, and see if we can, let's see, make some sharp turns, some dips. Let's see what we can do with this thing here. You know, this is a performance test, man. You know, this is the first time in the field with the Mavic Air 2. So, I mean, you know, I'm not filming a professional video here. I'm performing a first time in the field review of the Mavic Air 2. And this is the production model. This is not pre-release. This is my production model that I ordered from epicdroneshow.com. So if you're looking for the Mavic Air 2, any of the bundles, any of the accessories, go to epicdroneshow.com, or you can just expand this video's description and then click the link there, and you can find where to order it all online, or just go to IrixGuy.com/Mavic Air 2, and you can find it all there. Let's do some left to right. Okay, now I'm going to the right. And see, you know, I can see this in the app. It's going to be interesting with these somewhat abrupt maneuvers once I download and edit and you know, put the video on YouTube that y'all are watching right now. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing is handled. The speed of this is incredible. Right now in normal mode, I'm going 24, 26. Let's see. I'm going to come back this way. And you know, wind, there doesn't seem to be any wind, but often there is a little bit at higher elevations. Let's see. Okay, so we're going 20, 23, 23, 23 miles per hour ascending and going forward. Okay, now I'm not going to ascend. I'm at 207 feet. I'm just going to go straight forward on the stick here, like you can see. Normal mode, again, we're not testing sport mode as part of this first day in the field, or first flight test rather. 26.7 miles per hour, it's 26.9. Yeah, we're hanging steady with that. So in normal mode, that seems to be the speed, right around 27 miles per hour. So again, when we do the sport mode test, I'm gonna go in this other direction just in case there is a little bit of wind. When we do the sport mode test, yeah, I think there is, because it's going slower in this direction. It's going 19. Well, now it's going 21, 21, 21.8. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, you know, when I kick it into sport mode, how that does. But I mean, this thing is plenty fast. Obviously, I'm not over international waters right now, so I'm not going to test the range. That's something that I don't do. I mean, I'm a responsible pilot, and you know, I don't do anything like that unless I'm over international waters, and you know, that's a different animal. So the next time I'm out at sea, I will be sure to perform a range test then. But you know, don't even ask me for a range test, because when and if, not if, but when I'm in a location where I can do that, it's when I'll do it. But I mean, that's not something I'm doing here. This is just out in the field, see what it does. Man, I tell you, this thing is, you know, and I like the color of it too. It's not too small and it's not too lightweight. I love the Mavic Mini. The Mavic Mini is great for an ultra portable drone that's USB rechargeable. But the thing that's cool about this, oops, I hit stop on the record on the video. I didn't mean to do that. It's on the controller. I started it again. So there may be a brief blip there from the drone video. But yeah, it's large enough to where it's easy to see, even against this gray sky right now. It's super easy to see. So it's, I mean, it's a good size. It's very portable. It's very, you know, very solid performer. 60% battery life remaining. So we're getting really good battery life. I'll go as far as to say I bet this is probably going to have, you know, on paper it has better battery life than the Mavic 2, just by a little bit. And I don't think that's a false claim at all. I think this thing definitely has better battery life. And notice the HDR, the 4K 30 HDR as we go over this water right here. Notice how, you know, especially if you've got an HR monitor, 4K HR monitor or 4K HDR TV, notice how that looks. Pay attention to the shadows. Pay attention to those details, because that's what you're getting when you're shooting an HDR. And HDR is something that I'm going to, well, that I have embraced very heavily on this channel. Look at the shadow right there of that tree. I can see it on the FPV view, the tree over the water. Those kind of details, those details are where HDR really shines. So yeah, man, this thing is, I mean, just looking at it in the FPV view, this thing is incredible. I mean, it really is. It's got me excited to go home and edit, go back to the studio, you know, and get these edits in effect. But, you know, part of me is like, man, this is so much fun. You know, I just want to fly it until the battery is pretty much exhausted. And I'm saying, man, why not, man? We've been, and I accidentally hit the record button. So, you know, that's something to be aware of. This button's right here, and this controller is so comfortable. it makes the user want to just rest their fingers. You know, you get lazy and you want to rest your finger, you know, give your finger a break. And, you know, be aware of that, because this thing, it'd be easy to stop your recording at a key moment. And I'm not bashing the drone at all for that. I'm just saying be aware with this new controller design that may feel a little bit different. So, okay, we made a fast turn there. Again, I'm not going to do sport mode because I don't have the desire to race. But, you know, within upcoming videos, I'm definitely going to test it, because I know a lot of people are curious when it comes to the speed of a drone. I mean, that may be their passion, you know, instead of filming videos and snapping photos. And speaking of that, I owe y'all a still photos test. That's a question I've gotten from several viewers. Hey man, how does the camera quality look, especially in lower light conditions? That is towards the top of my list. Obviously, first video always has to be this first day in the field, the first field test for the Mavic Air 2, because, you know, you want to see just an unedited experience. You know, how does this thing perform? Is it decent? Is it horrible? This thing is great. I mean, now, you know, once I get the video imported and look at that, that'll be the, you know, the truth is in the pudding. But look at this right here. See, there I am. There's a guy over here playing golf. Check this out. Chase after some golf balls. Whee! Man, this is cool. Yeah, we're at 36% battery life. 36%. No, I'm sorry, 46. It's kind of cloudy out here, man. It was hard to see. 46%. That's some dude over here on a Segway. Segway going down the street. We are at 44%. And again, no sport mode, just regular normal mode. So we're going to continue to run here. This is 4K 30 HDR. We are at 160, 170 feet. Again, as you can see, the conditions, it's cloudy. And again, I did accidentally stop the recording once by pushing the physical recording button. So it's pretty cool. So far, so good. 41% battery life remaining. Again, not much wind at all, and that's important because we, you know, we need to do a wind test when there's strong wind. That'll be a good test of this new Mavic Air 2. Okay, so now we're going to go back this way. Let's go over these golf balls over here. There's some golf balls on the ground. Let's see how detail rich the camera is. Okay, we're gonna, and see, I don't know if it's visible in the video, but I keep thinking I'm seeing a propeller towards the right of the frame, and maybe I'm not. Y'all tell me when while you're watching this video. And there's golf balls in this grass. Let's see. Let's go on an Easter egg hunt for golf balls. There's a golf ball right there, see? There's a golf ball. And we're going to do all the intelligent flight modes. We're going to do all kinds of good stuff. There's another golf ball. Maybe there'll be a golf ball flying over us here. We are at 36% battery remaining. Do some low altitude stuff here. Now we're going to go up a little bit. Yeah, this thing handles like a champ. I mean, you know, you wouldn't expect anything less from DJI. You really wouldn't. So we've got 34. Wow, SD card storage full. Switch to aircraft internal storage. Now, how did my SD? I wonder if HDR video is that large. We'll have to check that out, man. Because if it's a lot larger video file, you know, that's an important lesson learned. Because this is the same card that I used for Mavic 2 Pro, and I never had any. I never consumed my entire card, especially during one flight. So I have a feeling what's going to happen is that this internal storage is going to fill up pretty quickly too. So it's that may be a drawback to using HDR. And I used HDR for the first field test because I wanted to get the best, you know, absolute best video quality test. And I'm assuming that it would be the HDR. Worth mentioning, 4K 60, 4K 60 is not able to be shot in HDR. Only all the way up to 4K 30 can be HDR. So 4K 60, you don't have that as an option. Man, that's low. Look at that. Whoa. Almost ran into my car. We're still recording. We haven't. Actually, we consumed the internal storage space. 28% battery life remaining. So see, now we're not recording. Let me see if I hit record what'll happen. Well, that's weird. It asked me if I wanted to resume with the internal storage, and interesting to see what's going to happen when you're looking at this edited video. If it stopped recording, if it's full. 26% battery life remaining right now. So the battery is, this thing has an outstanding battery life. Let's get up close here. %25 battery life remaining. $25. And I showed to still be recording, so we're gonna have to do some research about the how much card space this HDR at 4K 30 consumes. And actually, we're going to pop open 23% battery life remaining. Let's go ahead and the good thing is you can watch the timestamp on this video to see how long I've been in the field, because you saw me take off, and then I had to, of course I had to land because of the because of the propeller, whatever happened with the propellers on the back. But yeah, let's see, 21%. I did get a low battery notification, and I think that's adjustable. It says low battery, returning home. So actually, for a good test, let's just let this thing get low, and let's see what happens when this battery gets really low, because it hasn't started chirping yet. Normally, when you get low battery, it'll start to chirp. So let's see here. Yeah, it's recording again. I'm curious if I'm recording to internal or if it's recording to the SD card, because I got that SD card full message. And again, none of this is scripted, because I don't want to come out here and edit the experience and tell you everything's perfect, because you know, I've had a few questions that have already been raised that I want to find answers for. Number one, why did the rear of the aircraft, you know, before I took off the first time, why did it do that wonky thing? And then number two, why did I get card storage full? I formatted my card. I formatted and, you know, and erased it. Low battery, return to home. Low battery, aircraft will return to home after countdown. Continue operating remote control. So see, now it's returning to home. And there's a cancel return to home option, as you can see there. So, but I could cancel if I wanted to. Let's just see. So it's doing its return to home procedure. Let's see what happens here. It's got 15% battery life remaining. Is it going to try to land? Let's see if it's over. Okay, so it's directly over me now. Well, not directly over me, kind of in front of me. I'm curious if it's going to start. Oh, it's got a cancel landing. So let's just see if it's going to hit that mat. I'm not going to touch the controller unless it starts to get off, because my mat hasn't moved. There hasn't been any wind. Let's just see what happens here. I hit cancel, and the reason being is that you can see this landing pad. This right here is the drone. So there's about that much distance, and that's pretty accurate. I mean, if you were in a big area, I just don't want to land it in this tall grass and mess up the props. So what I'm going to do now is regain manual control. We're at 11% battery life remaining. I've regained manual control, and I'm going to put this puppy down. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. 10% battery life remaining. So what we're going to do next is power the drone off. And then we're going to power the controller off. And we're going to check a few things out post-flight here. Again, this is the first time in the field, and I've got multiple curiosities here. So number one, it's what size memory card did I put in here? Because I kind of grabbed it quickly, and I thought, and always out of best practice, man, get these things, make sure I'm still rolling on my, yeah, 33 minutes so far, man, that's awesome. That was incredible flight time. Obviously, I didn't fly the entire 33 minutes because we kind of had a little lead-in part. But, you know, this, and again, I had, what was it, 10% battery life remaining, whatever I said was remaining. So we're going to put the gimbal guard on, or camera protector, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Well, these things are always finicky, but they're important. There we go. So I got that in, and then obviously to fold it up, we'll do that in another video. I'm going to do another how to fold and unfold the Mavic Air 2. So let's check this. This is our first field test. Let's see what size memory card I had. Oh, there's my problem, man. I only had a 16 gig memory card. I grabbed the wrong memory card. So that explains why I ran out. Because if I'd had the card that I thought that I had, I wouldn't have run out. 16 gigs is tiny. So that was my failure. I apologize. You know, we all get excited and we get in a hurry to get out in the field for the first field test. And I will say that's the first time ever that I've made that mistake. So I feel really dumb. But anyway, at least we know now that HDR 4K 30 is not as massive of video files as we thought it was. So, no, I said I'm going to do that fold and unfold in our video. Let's just go ahead and do it now. So you fold the rear legs like this, and then you fold the these legs like this. and these propellers, you know, if, like you're accustomed to with that. So this is a very, very compact size, easy to transport. And then obviously the controller, the phone is just, you know, you just pop that out, you lift this up, you put your phone in your pocket, you put this, you kind of rope this around on the inside here. See how that just fits in there? It's got a little cutout for it, for the cord. And you just push that down and boom. And that is incredible. I mean, that is a testament to the awesome design of this new drone. It just keeps getting better. DJI just keeps making better and better drones. So that was my first day in the field with the Mavic Air 2. What do you think? Were you impressed after watching this video? Did you notice issues? I mean, obviously there were the things that I called out, but hopefully you did. Excuse me, hopefully you didn't. But if you did notice other problems, point them out, because that's what these videos are for. And yeah, so just to recap my problems, before I took off the first time, it gave me that check propeller warning, which I already knew that my propellers should have been correct, because I attached those in the studio and followed the color coding and everything. But when the back didn't lift up, I'm like, man, maybe this is messed up. But then I took off the second time and everything was fine. And as you saw that flight, you know, everything went off without a hitch. The only other issue I had was created by myself, and that was the small memory card. I'm only using a 16 gig. I should have been using something much larger. So I've got to dig and find my I think I was 128 gig. I got to figure out where I put that card. That's the problem with these things, man. They're so small, they're easy to misplace. So I've got to find that card, and then, you know, do another field test. This is just the first day in the field test of the Mavic Air 2. So I wanted to be as exhaustive as possible. Again, these are my honest opinions. You know, I'm not out here touting some pre-release drone. I ordered this drone myself from epicdroneshow.com, and I encourage y'all to consider shopping there too if you're looking for a drone and accessories or anything. And subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy, and check out all of my Mavic Air 2 videos. I'm going to post a ton of tutorial videos, a ton of field test videos, and a whole lot more. And if there's something you want to see me address within an upcoming Mavic Air 2 video, just comment down below or tell me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/IrixGuy, and I'll add it to my shoot list. So thanks for your viewership, and hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy, and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain IrixGuy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy, and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.